Heidi See, formerly Gregson. Heidi, who is originally from Sydney, has spent the last few years as a professional runner in America and is a 2015 Australian representative at the World Championships. So, Heidi, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to over the past few months and what you have planned for the upcoming months?
So the last few months have really just been dedicated to getting healthy again. Um, I found out I had a stress reaction in May, and so that kind of derailed my Rio campaign. So I took a couple months just to, step back from it all a little bit, and then another couple months to kind of just get healthy again and work out what the problem was and how to fix it. So the last couple months I've just been trying to get healthy again. I've had a few changes that were not planned originally. I decided to move on from Furman Elite, which I've been with for the past 4 years. I've been pretty fortunate to be in Furman Elite the last 4 years, and I've really developed as an athlete. But I think, I think after any Olympic year, when you go through something emotional, especially, it's good to just reevaluate things. And I think the most important thing for me was to get a fresh start. So that's just kind of what I've been doing, and finally back on my feet running again, which has been exciting. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to starting training again properly.
Oh, great. Well, it sounds like that'll be a positive change and there are lots of exciting things ahead for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did lead you to decide to stay in America after finishing college at Iona University and become a pro athlete?
I think part of it was running, definitely, but the other part was my boyfriend at the time, which is now my husband, Jeff. He was moving down from Ohio State to join Furman Elite, which was just starting up at the time, and I had just graduated from Iona, and I still wanted to run, and it was an exciting program that was starting up. So I think it just worked out perfectly that it felt like a good place for me to develop and just get faster and start following some of my goals that I wanted to do post Iona. So it just worked out pretty well that me and Jeff could kind of do it together.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like a fantastic opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So you currently live in Greenville, South Carolina with Jeff. How did you two meet, and in what ways has being married to a fellow runner assisted your running career?
So we met at NCAA's indoor championships. He was at Ohio State, like I said, and I was at Iona, and we met at a bar actually after competition was all over, and we both didn't run as well as we had hoped. So we kind of just met there and started a long distance relationship after that for 2.5 years until we moved down to Greenville together. And I think once we moved down to Greenville together, it was really nice to have him at training every day, and we both were, going after the same thing and helping each other out, and it was easy to kind of, get into that lifestyle of being a professional athlete and doing the right things. So, yeah, we definitely have helped each other. It's been a little different now. I've been a bit sad that he's kind of left running behind a little bit because he's retired from competitive running, and I've decided I still want to continue. So we're kind of getting used to living a little bit different lives now, but I still bring him out in the morning with me to get in some runs because I need some help.
Yeah, it's good to have a bit of company on your runs.
Yeah.
So you attended college yourself in the US at Iona University in New York. So prior to Iona, you were in your teenage years and you'd had a string of injuries and taken some time off the sport. So what led you to decide to pursue college?
To be honest, it was really just a random thing. When I finished high school, I knew I still wanted to run, but I kind of just went straight into uni at UTS in Sydney. And I was kind of half training. I was injured. I was, wanting to go out as well. Like, I just wasn't completely committed, mostly just because of injury. Like, it was just a struggle for me. I hadn't really thought about going to college in the States, but I got an email from Gavin Kennedy, who now coaches at Wisconsin, and he really just kind of convinced me, to come over to Iona. I said to him, I haven't been running for the past couple of years. I've been injured. I'm like not in good shape. And he said, do you want to run? And I said, yes, I want to run. And he goes, that's all I need to know. So that was kind of like the moment for me that I was like, okay, I'm going to do something different and I'm going to give this a go. And within 2 months, I was on a plane to New York, and that's just kind of where it all started.
Wow, well, it sounds like it was a great decision for you because you had some very successful years over there. You qualified for a few NCAA championships. What advice would you give to athletes who are deciding whether or not to go to college in the US?
I think, I might be a bit biased, but I think I've heard of people having bad experiences over here and also having really good experiences. I would say just go for it. I think whenever you kind of pull yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit, and if you really love running and you want to just take that next step, I think it's a good risk to take. I'd encourage people to really look at different schools. Iona wasn't a huge state school or anything, like a lot of the schools are. So that was a little bit different for me, but it was perfect for me at the time. I'd encourage people to just go for it. And it's just nice to see how other people, approach the sport. And it's just a fun experience. I had a blast, and I think it's a huge reason why I'm where I am today. Oh, look, one of my cats has decided to make an appearance. He's just being a bit of an attention seeker. All right. Bye, Samson.
And what advice would you give to teenage athletes who are trying to break a cycle of injuries?
That's something I definitely dealt with. Now that I'm older, it's just, Samson, why do you have to take the limelight? I think patience is just something you just gotta keep reminding yourself. Your body's changing, you're growing. Also, your life's changing. You're going from high school to university. You're trying to work out what to do with your life. And I think you just got to sit back and kind of take some time just to get healthy. I think Eloise Wellings is a perfect example of someone that people can look into her story if they're struggling with injuries. She was so strong as a junior, yet injuries just stopped her from making 3 Olympic teams, and now she's 33, I think, and in the best shape of her life. So I think teenagers just got to realize that they've got so much time, and if you really love the sport and you're happy, then you'll get there. Just have fun.
Yeah, that's great advice that I'm sure many young athletes can take on board. So what did you major in at college?
I did mass communication journalism.
Oh, cool. So do you get much opportunity to do any journalistic practice now? And do you plan on working in that field in the future?
I've had a few opportunities recently. I wrote an article for Body and Soul in Australia, and I wrote a few articles for a running magazine over here in Greenville. I did journalism because I love to be creative, whether it's writing or designing. So that's kind of why I chose to do that path. I'm not really sure what I'll do once I'm totally done with running, but I definitely do like that. I love writing. Something definitely creative I'll probably do.
Yeah, well, you also have your accessories brand, Boho Kitty, and you offer both a bridal range and an everyday active range. So unfortunately, we didn't see you on the start line in Rio as your Olympic campaign was cut short due to injury. We did, however, see some of your Boho Kitty headbands on a few athletes, namely Jen Lacars and Mel Breen. So what inspired you to start Boho Kitty and how has it evolved over the years?
Yeah, that was really exciting to see those girls
Yeah, definitely.
out there actually. Yeah, I started a couple years ago. I first started just with the bridal stuff. During my own planning for my own wedding, I just was kind of looking for headpieces and all these different accessories. I couldn't really find much to offer when I was looking, so I'm a creative person, and I just started sort of trial and error making my own stuff, and that's just kind of how I got into it. And I just really loved it and found that I was good at it. And so I just started with the bridal stuff, and then a couple of years ago I was actually on a altitude trip to Flagstaff with Furman Elite at the time, and just sitting around between sessions, and I realized there was kind of like a market for like female athletes, just to have some, I call it fit glam, just to have some like sort of fashion in the sport, that there was kind of a market for that, and I wanted to explore that a little bit. So I just started with that idea and made headbands for myself and some of my teammates, and then noticed that people were interested and they were excited about it. So that's just kind of how I got into it. Running in general isn't really glamorous, like just training, and you never wear makeup, and it's just sitting around in like tracky pants between sessions. But on race day, you kind of want to get your nails done, you want your hair to be nice, and you want to feel a little bit glamorous, feel good, and race good. So I kind of was thinking about that a little bit, and that's kind of what got me started on that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a fantastic idea for athletes to have a bit of bling out on the track.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about the name Boho Kitty? I think anyone looking through Instagram would know that you're a huge cat lover.
Yeah, I'm definitely a cat lover. As you saw, Samson, one of my cats, wanted to make a little appearance before. So that's obviously part of the name was Boho Kitty, because I love cats. But also kind of the boho side of things, that's kind of been a huge influence on my own fashion and inspiration. And when I was thinking about the type of girl I wanted to design for, that name just kind of fit, like someone who was free-spirited, but also someone who was a little bit sassy and confident, and it just kind of fit really well, and I thought it was fun and a cute name.
Yeah. So is Jeff as much of a cat lover as you, or is he a dog lover? And if so, how do you reconcile that?
Well, we both love all animals. I always go to the shelter here in Greenville a couple times a month just to play with all the puppies and the cats. I'm a huge animal lover in general. I think he started off as a dog lover, and then when we got the cats, he's been tolerant of them. But I see him sometimes, having his little moments cuddling them when he doesn't think I'm looking. So I think he's kind of, adapted to the cat lady lifestyle a little bit.
That's definitely good then.
Yeah.
So what are your plans for the rest of the year and 2017? Will you be heading back home to Australia at all anytime soon?
So I plan to go. I don't have solid plans quite yet, but after I left Furman Elite, I naturally reached out to my agent, Nick Bordeaux. We've kind of been working together for the past couple of years, and in the end, he encouraged me to consider joining Melbourne Track Club, and I think the results that Nick's had this year kind of speaks for itself. It was basically just the struggle was working out logistics and stuff, but he's always been kind of a mentor in a way the last couple of years for me, just kind of bouncing ideas off me. So he's now my coach. I'm in the second week of training with him, and I plan to come over to Australia probably a little earlier than I usually do in January, and spend some time in Melbourne with the group. So it's going to be a bit of a different year, but I'm really excited to just a fresh start, and I think it's going to be really fun. Spending a little more time at home as well will be good. So it'll just be kind of a transitioning year and getting used to a new sort of training setup. So I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's great to hear that you're back into training and you've got some exciting things ahead. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today and allowing the Runners Tribe viewers opportunity to get to know Heidi See a bit better. And we can't wait to have you training and racing back down under.
Thank you, Grace. Thanks for speaking with me.